The air is warm and the gloves are off at Madison Square Garden as the Knicks faithful file in for their noon tip-off against the Memphis Grizzlies. Fresh off a last-second one-point loss to the Philadelphia 76ers on Friday night, the Brooklyn Nets head home here to the Barclays Center for the holiday. Class is the word used universally to describe Derek Jeter by Red Sox fans all across Red Sox Nation. And as he puts on his Yankee uniform for the final time here at Fenway Park, I'm Wesley Sykes with the Free Range Sports Press, tipping my cap to the Yankee captain. For an exhilarating 107-101 overtime victory against the Milwaukee Bucks, the Knicks have received an early Christmas gift in getting back reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Tyson Chandler, after breaking his right tibia 2 months ago. But this holiday season, fans feel they have received coal in their knickers as the Bockers have got off to an 8-17 start and injuries have depleted their depth. Star forward Carmelo Anthony will look to stay hot as he scored 25 or more points in 6 straight games. From the Garden, I'm Wesley Sykes. For all those last-second Christmas shoppers out there, you can still snag tickets to both games. From the Barclays Center, I'm Wesley Sykes. What is going on, Jets Nation? You are live with the best damn Jets show in the world. Of course, I'm referring to yours truly, the Flight Boys of Flight 5 Live. I am your host with the utmost, Wesley Sykes, and as always, I'm accompanied by my esteemed colleague and noble steed, hashtag Frankie. Step up to the mic, Frank, preach a little bit. As Red Sox and Yankee fans alike file into Fenway Park to close out the 2014 season, there's an unusual anticipation in the autumn air. No, not animosity for October baseball. Both teams failed to qualify, but excitement to see an all-time great retire. 10 years ago, honoring the Yankee captain's career would have been considered borderline treason. However, after reversing the 86-year curse of the Bambino in 2004 and subsequent titles in 2007 and 2013, have fans singing a different tune when it comes to Derek Jeter. A staple in baseball's best rivalry and a thorn in the side of Red Sox fans, Jeter has earned the respect of a fan base that doesn't easily hand it out. If the sights and sounds around Fenway Park wasn't evident enough, Boston has clearly entered a New York state of mind as they bid farewell to the Yankee captain, Derek Jeter, as proof by this program here that I bought outside the stadium. I asked a few fans around the Fenway Park what they thought of the Yankee captain as he puts an end to his 20-year career.
This is probably the coolest game that I'm going to be able to see in my entire life. Number one, it's because it's against the Red Sox, man. This is a rivalry that's been going on. He's been playing for 20 years. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal. The way he's going to carry himself out is phenomenal.
I equate Derek Jeter to one of my most beloved Boston Celtics, and that would be John Havlicek. The ultimate professional, never makes a mistake, and just wins.
I think it's a pretty good location. If he can't play it at home, he might as well be here. I'm hoping he plays, if not just to see him.
Outstanding ball player, outstanding athlete, very classy guy.
That game, and I believe 2004, when he dove into the stands in Yankee Stadium and caught that foul ball, and that was the same day that our beloved, despicable Nomar Garciaparra had that phony injury or whatever and did not play in that game.
Perhaps no one outside Fenway knows the Yankee captain like beloved Boston police officer Steve Horgan.
You know, the one thing I can say best about Derek Jeter, whenever an officer is assigned to the visitors' dugout, he always says good afternoon or good evening, officer. Always. What a class act. I always think that that's a class act.
Class is the word used universally to describe Derek Jeter by Red Sox fans all across Red Sox Nation. And as he puts on his Yankee uniform for the final time here at Fenway Park, I'm Wesley Sykes with the Free Range Sports Press, tipping my cap to the Yankee captain. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's get into that first. I mean, mid-season trades is something you see so few and far between in the NFL, particularly one of a guy who was just drafted, third overall the year before. Talk a little bit about that trade. Of course, Trent Richardson moving from the Cleveland Browns to the Indianapolis Colts for a first-round pick. How does this immediately impact the Colts and people who own Trent Richardson? Up with one of the undrafted free agent wide receivers, Antavius Wilson out of the Marshall Thundering Herd. So we get to meet him, we get a little bit words with him and see what's going on as he just got taken to a new team. Those undrafted guys are always fun to watch.
He's awesome.
But, I know right
He's
now
really
we have,
good.
Yeah, I mean, he was exciting to see. I mean, you look at Aaron Dobson, who was taken in the second round, and they had almost identical numbers as we were looking over there. So it's kind of crazy to see how fast his stock fell from Aaron Dobson, second round guy, to this guy going undrafted. So that'll definitely be something we'll touch on with Antavius. All right, welcome to the jungle. Loving that new intro made by our producer, Ant. Welcome to Fantasy Football Crystal Ball. I am your host and the second smartest person in this show, Wesley Sykes. The first smartest person is Rob Warner. Great to have you back, Rob. How you doing this week? But as always, we'll open up the lines of communication, so give us a call at 914-595-4871. Share your thoughts on Twitter at our not-so-new handle, Flight5Live, or show off those beautiful faces like we do every week on Skype at Zadelza NY. And as I already mentioned, we got Santonio Holmes calling in at the bottom of the hour. But as for the rest of the show, we will see who the fans decided upon as the greatest Jet of all time. And great Scott, Marty. Is Bart Scott really one of the best linebackers of the past 5 years? We'll ask Frank about that, and we'll chat, like I said, with former Super Bowl MVP and Jets wide receiver Santonio Holmes as he takes a break from his rehab to talk a little Jets football. The rookie mini camp special here at Flight 5 Live. So the Jets officially announced today that the signing of 4 rookies, in particular third-round pick Brian Winters, has signed a 4-year, $2.8 million deal, as well as Ode Abuche, offensive guard, tackle, offensive lineman from Virginia, Staten Island native, went to Brooklyn Severian High School, so definitely shout out there. And fullback Tommy Bohannon signed 4-year deals each, as well as defensive tackle turned offensive lineman William Campbell. So definitely some great things there. But what we're going to get into right off the bat is a little breakdown of Rex Ryan press conference brought to you by the good folks of NewYorkJets.com, and just a little bit of recap of day one impressions. So, Anthony, if we can get that film rolling right now, we'll get that into that. The NFL Draft means the start of the 2012 season, and Jets fans came out in full force to MetLife Stadium, where they held a draft viewing party for members of Gang Green Nation. Jets faithful were allowed field access where they could test their skills with what Thursday's hopefuls were put through. 40-yard dashes, field goal tries, touchdown throws, and special guest appearances from the flight crew cheerleaders and Jets players highlighted the event prior to the team's 16th overall selection.
I mean, it's awesome, man. We love our fans. I feel like we have the greatest fans in the whole NFL. Man, we just love being here. The kids are here, the parents. It's an awesome feeling to be back home.
And I think that Tim is learning the system just like I am, and I think they're gonna be great for the team. I mean, I think Mark's the guy, like I said, and I'm just looking forward to the season, man.
As Roger Goodell took the podium at Radio City to announce the commencement, fans at the Meadowlands were speculating who they like to see in Hunter Green next season.
I believe the Jets are going to get a right tackle, or they're going to go for a pass rusher. Those are the two needs that we need right now.
I honestly don't know.
Probably outside linebacker or defensive end, pass rusher. That's what we need.
With anticipation setting in, Jets Nation grew with excitement as the team selected University of North Carolina defensive end Quentin Coples.
For me, I'm not sure. I didn't know too much about the guy. I thought they were going to take Courtney Upshaw.
I like it. I think the Jets need a big, strong defensive end, pass rusher. I'm looking for somebody to make it tough on Tom Brady and the rest of these guys. So 6'6", 284 pounds, I like the pick. Good pick.
We'll see how it works out. I wanted Ingram, but like I said, you just don't know until another year, 2 years from now.
All right, we had a lot of fun here at MetLife Stadium at the Jets draft party, where the Jets used their 16th overall pick to select defensive end out of UNC, Quentin Coples. Never Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Wesley Sykes, and I'm going to give this a try here.
Make sure you follow him.
Yeah, and we got a great show lined up for you. We're going to be talking with Chris Nimbley, the Jets insider, arguably the Rodney Dangerfield of the Jets beat, to call in and discuss day one of the Jets rookie camp. And I don't know about you, Frank, but I can feel it in the air, to kind of quote Beanie Siegel a little bit, if you can hear him in the background. I woke up this morning, I saw football tweets in my timeline, I saw the birds were chirping, the sun was out, my spidey senses were tingling. We're almost there. We're almost there. So when rookie Geno Smith was asked Wednesday if he'd be attending teammate Mark Sanchez's annual Jets West camp, he declined to comment. On Thursday, the Jets PR staff told reporters that Smith, who was not supposed to speak that day, would be available to clarify comments from the day prior. Quote, I didn't comment because I was always taught if you didn't know exactly what you're answering about, never comment on it. I was like, what's Jets West? That's a tongue twister. That's tough to say. Smith would later say that he hasn't been officially extended an offer to attend, but Sanchez has broadly stated that everyone is invited. For the record, Tim Tebow was invited and attended last year's Jets West camp. So, Frank, should this be a big deal, or is this just another example of the media hyping up a story for the sake of headlines? Inside this brownstone, tucked away from the mainstream in historic Fort Greene, is where you can find Brooklyn cigar connoisseur David Diamante.
You smoke a cigar for one of three reasons: conversation, contemplation, or celebration.
He's traveled throughout Central America learning about cigars. In 2009, Diamante opened Brooklyn's first cigar lounge, what he called a necessity.
I was doing a lot of hanging out in cigar lounges in Manhattan, and we didn't have one in Brooklyn, and so I'm a Brooklyn guy, and I wanted to open one here, so I did it.
Brooklyn's Renaissance man is more than just tobacco. For the last 10 years, he's served as a professional ring announcer for boxing. And since the Nets have traded in their New Jersey roots for their trendy digs just 3 blocks away from here, he's served as the voice of the NBA team.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Real Reporting, filmed by Wesley.
That was just for us. But come game time, his catchphrases are unmistakable.
Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet. It's time to be the starting lineup for you, Brooklyn Nets.
It's hard not to hear me.
His voice is heard not only inside the Barclays Center at every home game, but all over Brooklyn.
Yo, I love it. Welcome, man.
Diamante may run with an A-list crowd, but considers himself a community activist, getting behind the borough's latest attempt to curb drunk driving.
Just things in the community, things that can help New York City in general. It's really a great thing to be a part of.
But it all stems from his love for Brooklyn, a love he hopes every New Yorker will soon share. In Fort Greene, I'm Wesley Sykes.